Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our first Demo December demonstration of the season. We have 3 of these that we will have over the next, 3 weeks here. Give me 1 second. I want to get myself together. I don't know where the time went quite this morning. Let's move that out of the way. It's like, oh, I have 15 minutes. I'll be good to go. Next thing I know, oh my goodness, I have 1 minute until we're live. All right. I just want to get, hello, Miss Ann. Hello, Miss Jackie. There we go. Now I have my chat box up. I can see. I can see. Okay. Could not see any chat earlier. Well, welcome to our first session of Demo December. So just a little reminder for those that are new to Demo December as to how Demo December works. We will meet 3 times. 3 times here on YouTube and 3 times in person if you are a local to us. You just have to watch or attend 3. It can be any combination. You could do some virtual if the dates don't work for in-person. You can do an in-person. As long as you have 3 different demonstrations. Now, I will be repeating every demonstration I do here on YouTube. I also do in the store that same week. So if you're watching here today, you don't need to come watch the demo here tomorrow, when we do this tomorrow at 10 o'clock, I think, or 9:45, you can shop instead. You can focus on the sale and not worrying about getting your Demo December code word. Hello, Miss Betty, Miss Danette, Miss Pam, Miss Jackie, Miss Elisa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Or good afternoon, I guess. Some of us maybe haven't recovered from yesterday. Could still be in bed, and I hope you are. We have, the way that I do this is that I will give you 3 code words. So each demonstration will have a different word for you to write down. And then after the 3rd session, the embroidery design will be available for you to download with those 3 code words. And I'll explain more about that when we get to that point, but we don't need to worry about it now because you can't get the design. I have given you, or I've created, a little code word tracker. So if you wanted to download the little tracker, then you can just jot the word down, keeps it all in one nice little place. So here is the little tracker. So you would just jot the word down when I write it down here, and then you would have it, and then you'll collect 3 words. And like I said, I'll explain how to get your design later. This is our design that you will be able to receive for free at the end of these 3 sessions. We are in the world of jar toppers. Who doesn't love a mason jar, first of all? And who doesn't love a beautiful top to a mason jar? So the design comes in 2 sizes. So you have a size that is meant to fit a standard mouth mason jar. Okay, that's your standard mouth. And then there is a design that is sized to fit the wide mouth mason jar. Okay, so 2 different sizes you'll receive. So here is the standard size and the wide mouth size. The design is bigger for the wide mouth, but they all will fit in a up to a 6x10 embroidery field, and we'll talk about our demonstration. My demo for the third week, or the third demo, will be assembling these or talking about jar toppers, so we'll go over hoops and all of that. I will have kits available starting at our second demonstration for building these poinsettias. So those will be available as well. So don't panic about supplies and things, and it's lots of little things too that you may have around for you. So everybody run out on Black Friday and buy yourself mason jars, because you're going to want them to fill full of cute gifts. I mean, how cute. I loved this little fluted shaped mason jar, little individual hot cocoa maybe mix in there, served, given as a little hostess gift with a cute mug. Nothing better than homemade candy or homemade goodies inside mason jars. So that will be our focus for this month. This is the end result. What you will get at the end of, what was that, the second week of December? 9th, I think. 6th and 9th, I believe, is the dates. I did not write them down. Yes. The design will be available starting December 6th or the 9th when you have collected your 3 words. Mug rugs is where we are starting this week. Okay? So that's probably how Kimberbell got their big start. Mug rugs and cuties was probably their first foray into embroidery designs was mug rugs. You're probably all very familiar with Kimberbell mug rugs. We actually have 5 volumes of mug rugs, 2 digital dealer exclusive mug rugs, and there's a free download mug rug as well. So we're going to talk about mug rugs, and some of you that have been embroidering for a while be like, Amy, I know how to make a mug rug. Really? I'm actually going to talk about customizing a mug rug. Maybe there isn't a mug rug that is not featuring the holiday or the celebration or the focus that you want, and you want to create your own. But maybe you don't have embroidery software. That's not something that you want to get into, but you have an embroidery machine. And so we can do some customizing right on our embroidery machines. Okay? So that's what I'm going to talk about today. Now hold on one second. Going to talk about a lot. I'm going to try to not talk. It's just so much. I just get so excited. I just don't know what to do with myself. I was trying so hard this morning when I sat down to do this, or last night, and then this morning, write an outline. I was like, oh my goodness, we could talk about this, we could talk about this, we could talk about this. I was everywhere with being a squirrel this morning. So the first thing that we need to understand is the basic steps to a mug rug. Now, this is going to depend and vary on the design of the mug rug, who the mug rug was created by, things like that. So I suggest, if there are instructions, that you print the instructions out for it. Maybe make one before you start deconstructing this one, okay? Before you start customizing it to yourself. So we typically, in a mug rug, you're going to have a placement line that is run for you to be able to put your batting. Then you'll tack your batting in place. Then there'll be some sort of placement line that you'll stitch telling you where to put your fabric. Some mug rugs are pieced, okay? Some may be a solid piece of fabric, but we have a variety of different concepts depending upon the mug rug. Then we tack the fabric down, then we do the quilt design, and then we move to the embroidery that's on the mug rug. This is where we start customizing, and then there is the final outline that actually stitches the mug rug together. Where we want to make changes typically is taking out that embroidery design and putting in our own. We're good with everything else from above that. That's what we want. We want already to have the batting, the fabric placement, the quilting all done. Okay? We just want to change out the embroidery design, maybe even change out the wording. that's there. We like the design, but not a fan of words, the words that are there. And then we always want to keep the final outline that will stitch our backing on. So just so we can see here. Mug rugs. So these are mostly Kimberbell mug rugs that I have here, although I have others. I have a couple from another brand from OESD. Just so that you can see, a lot of the Kimberbell mug rugs are pieced. They have some sort of piecing that they've broken down into 2 parts. There are some mug rugs you have that may be one solid piece of fabric. Okay, maybe you don't want this piecing, and we're going to talk about how to fix that. If you don't want that pieced, you just want a solid piece of fabric. And then we get into, with Kimberbell, she has the 5x7 mug rug, and then we have something that's called a mug mat or a jug rug. So this is the 8x12. Okay, so this is really big, meant for like a plate and a mug. Okay, and this will be much bigger, but still can be customized just like we do with the small ones. Heather asks, able to watch this later when I'm in front of my machine? Yes, ma'am. It's here on YouTube. There will be a playlist that's labeled Demo December, and they will live on here forever. And then we have these 2 mug rugs came from OESD, okay, or Embroidery Online. These are a little bit different than the Kimberbell mug rugs. One, they are a little taller or wider than the Kimberbell. There's not an all-over quilt design. These particular ones are appliqued and pieced in the hoop, but still, in general, a mug rug. Okay, so we're going to look at taking the base of the mug rug, removing this section, replacing it with something new. Okay, because maybe you like the background quilting that's on the mug rug and you want to put something else here. Okay, so we are going to do that right on the machine. Now this is going to be limited depending upon your machine. Okay, I am specifically going to talk about some of the embroidery, the embroidery plus features that are on the newest Bernina embroidery machines. So if your machine is considered a plus machine, so if you have a 770 plus, a 765 plus, a 790 plus, an upgraded 7 series machine, a 500, a 700, a 790 Pro, these are going to be features that we're specifically going to talk about. Now, don't go away, hang out, because I'll show you, if you don't have these features, how to do this. Okay, so don't go away. Hang out with me. I promise. I'm going to teach you something. So we're specifically going to talk about ungroup, add and insert embroidery designs, rearrange, recolor, and regroup. Now, if you are one of those 7 and 8 series machines that are not pluses, so maybe you're just a regular 770 or regular 790, we still have the plus upgrades available, and you can upgrade your machine to have these embroidery features. Okay, so just a note. So let's go design one together. All right, so I'm actually going to open up my simulator. And if you're not familiar with this, the simulators are available for all of the machines. Okay, so they basically install on your computer, and what it is it becomes like your sewing machine screen. Okay, and you can play around and look at things without having to be in front of your sewing machine. So if you're on vacation, you're not near your machine, or you want to play with the design, but don't really want to do it on your machine, or you're worried about messing something up, your simulators are there so that you can do this from the couch with your feet propped up. You're already done sewing for the day, things like that. I'm going to show you real fast where to find the simulator if it's available for your machine. So if you go to Bernina.com, up at the very top, so go all the way up to the header at the very top, there is a little tab there that says support. It's probably in light gray. Sometimes you miss it. So if you click support, we're going to come in to search support for Bernina models. We'll hit this plus sign over here on the right. It's going to open up and bring up all the models, okay, that we have in the Bernina world. And if you travel over to a particular Bernina model, click on it, and then if you scroll down, if you see a section here that says simulator, you can download and install that simulator on your computer, okay? So that you are able to then be able to do what I'm doing right here, not sit at the machine, but actually play on my computer and do designing. It's great for like playing with Stitch Designer, pattern combi mode, and even embroidery designs, okay? Because you can access embroidery designs that you have on USB sticks and bring them right into the simulator. You're not limited to using just the designs that are built into the machine, okay? So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a mug rug. So on my USB stick, I have a Kimberbell Mug Rug 5. So I'm going to choose USB up here at the top. I have a folder here that's listed as Mug Rug 5, and I'm going to open up embroidery files. I'm going to open up the format that I want. I'm going to pull up EXP, and then I have a variety of all the designs from Mug Rugs 5. Ultimately, what I'm looking for is which one do I want? Do I like the background quilting design? Okay. Yes, the question was asked, is it for PC only? Yes, I believe the simulator is only designed to work on PC. Okay. Now, so we're just looking for a design that we like the background quilting for, that type of thing. So we're just going to pull up this one. Okay. I like the diamond, the Harlequin diamond look for it. So I know in the Kimberbell world, we have all the instructions that are on the USB stick are there for us step by step, all the pictures. Okay, everything is there for us to lead us to building this design without needing any questions to be asked, things along that lines. So if we look at instructions, we can see that color stop 1 on the machine is going to be my placement line for batting. I'm going to put my batting down. Color stop 2 is going to tack my batting down as it is stitching the template. And that template is going to show us where we're going to put fabric. And then there is a fabric placement. Okay, you're going to place fabric 1 up. We will tack fabric 1 down, and then we would put fabric 2 down, right sides together, and then stitch it in place. Then once we had both of them down, the next color stop is going to tack all of that background in place. Okay, and that's important to know exactly what those steps are so that we can keep track of what is going where. Okay, so that's why I said sometimes it's important to either write it down on a piece of paper as to what each color stop is. Now, if you don't have the instructions or anything like that, you can actually on the Bernina, if you go to the little color palette right here, we can arrow through each of these steps and look exactly at where each color stop is going to be. Okay, so that's just kind of a general overview. Now, first thing I have to do is I want to get rid of this wording, right? I don't want that word. I want to maybe change out a word. I maybe want to take out the design completely. But if we look over here on the right-hand side, we have what we call layers. And right now, this design is grouped together. Everything is grouped. I can't get a hold of just the wording, right? I want to get rid of that wording. And in order to do that, we need to ungroup the design. Okay, everybody right now is holding hands, and we're going to come in and we're going to flash back to childhood here, and we're going to play, isn't it Red Rover? And we're going to send somebody over and we're going to bust the chain. And we're going to break this all apart. I'm going to hit the eye. I'm going to, in my edit screen, I'm going to scroll up, and we're going to have this icon here that looks like two little boxes with a plus sign and some lines after it. This is going to be ungroup. I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to hit minus. And when I hit minus, look what happens. Everything is individual. Okay? Look at that. We now have the ability to delete all sorts of individual things. Now, if you only wanted a solid piece of fabric, okay? So remember, the Kimberbell designs usually have two color blocks. If I wanted to just have a solid piece of fabric, what I would do is, there's my batting placement. I'm going to stitch, we'll call this the batting tack down, and that's fine. That line in the middle is going to get covered up. It doesn't need to go away. It's just fine. But we don't really want number 3 and number 4. Those are the steps that would have sewn that middle seam, right? So I could leave them there and I could just skip them when I go to embroider this, but the likelihood that I remember what I was doing and then just hit it and be like, oh, I wasn't supposed to do that. And then I have to seam rip. Why not just delete them? So I'm going to select the one I want to delete. And if I touch it and drag it to the right, that's going to bring up the quick delete. And then I can say, yes, I want to throw this in the trash. And I can repeat this again. Select it, drag it to the right, throw it in the trash. You also have a trash can that you can choose, but it's just as easy to select and drag. We're used to that with our phones and everything today. All right, tell me where you lost audio. I'll wait a minute. Back me up. Thank you, Miss Ann. After click and drag. Okay. I never know with the lag behind it. One day I'll be a really good audio person. Oh, thank you. Yes, Miss Pam, the simulator is only going to be for the Berninas, but you can, I'm sure that those other brands have these functions. Okay, back to click and drag. Okay, so let me undo this. Let's do this again. So I'm going to delete these two lines. So I'm going to right click and drag to delete those lines because we don't need those seams, right? You could also skip them, okay? If you don't have the ability to delete, you could skip them. So now what we have remaining is our batting tack down. We have our batting placement, batting tack down, place our fabric completely covering the batting template, and then tack our fabric down. And then we quilt. Now after our quilting is done, we come into our embroidery design. So I'm going to do a couple of things here first. One, I'm going to leave I like the beginning part of this embroidery design, but I don't want the word hero. Okay, I want to change out this word. So again, I can delete the two sections for this step in the embroidery of the word hero. But before I do any deleting, I need to make note in the design as to where it gets placed so that when I add my word, my new word, I can get it in the location of the embroidery design correctly so that it doesn't embroider after something else needs to be embroidered. Okay? So I'm going to make note that the word hero in this design was in position 7 and 8. And then I can either right click and drag to delete, or I can select it and use the trash can. Okay? Same thing, and use the trash can. Now, everything else in this design is going to be good, right? There's my words, and then I would then want to put my new word in, and then there's my final close up the design. Now we need to add the new design, right? The new word. I'm going to hit the plus sign. I'm going to navigate back to my machine because we're going to use some wording on the machine, some lettering on the machine. I'm going to pick up my font. Oh, maybe we'll choose this one. I'm just going to type out my word and hit the check mark, and that's going to put that in there. Now, it's obviously going the wrong direction, so I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees, and then I'm going to move it to where I want it to be. And again, going to be too big, so we can size it. Okay. Does that make sense? Now, once you get this in place, look at where it's going to stitch. So it's going to go through and it's going to stitch the word friend after we technically close up our design. So I need this friend to come down and be at least underneath of the final stitch. So I'm going to select friend. Over here in my edit screen, I have this option that says 1, 2, 3. This is where you can rearrange the order in which things are going to embroider. Right now, I have layer number 10 selected. This is my word friend, and I'm going to move it down. Okay? So it's going to now stitch underneath or before my final tack down. I could continue to move it until it lands in position 7 or 8, but being right there is just fine as well, because if I look, it would just work its way down. Oops. Here, 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 and then put the backing on. Now the default is always going to come up and give that to you in black. That's the default whenever you type in lettering. Maybe you want to audition what color it's going to look like, okay? And you're not sure what color you want to use, but you'd like to see a little preview. So I'm going to close out my edit menu. I'm going to open up my paint palette again. I'm going to select color number 9, and I'm going to hit the little swap icon. And I will then choose my brand. So the upper arrows are going to go between brands. These lower arrows are going to move between the isochord color numbers. If you know exactly what isochord color number you want to use, then you can type the color number in. But I can, let's just say 1903. Okay. Choose the color, put it in there, and then come back to edit. And now you can see what color that's going to look like. Now remember, Kimberbell's designs are created color neutral. The colors that you are seeing on screen are not meant to be the colors that you embroider them in. Okay? They are just generic. So if you really want to go through and assign your colors to everything, I wouldn't worry about assigning it to all of the placement lines and things, but to come through and actually give it a color, oops, you can. Okay. So your machines are very powerful, built in right inside. Okay. There's not a lot that you can't do in here. So that's replacing wording or replacing something. If I wanted to delete all of this, don't delete my quilting. Okay, I am left with a blank mug rug. What I have right now is, I think I deleted one too many. Oh no. I just got an arrow down. What I have right now is a blank mug rug. I would save this. This just becomes your default mug rug template. So we're just going to save this. So we're going to do a file, put it in a folder, save it to the machine. Now I won't ever have to go pick up a design and delete everything out of it if I'm in a rush and need just a blank template that I can create from. Okay? It's there. And I don't have to worry about it. If you wanted to add a design to this, again, hit the plus sign. I have a design collection from OESD on my USB stick. Can open it up. There it is. I can edit this to rotate it. Can move it in place. And again, obviously it needs to be resized into my design. I need to rearrange it so that it now stitches below the design. Once your design is finished, you can regroup this. Maybe you're all finished. Now we want to go and maybe change, move it, or do something, or send it to somebody, you know, that type of thing. When you are done quilting, or excuse me, when you're done designing, you can come back into that ungroup icon. We're going to go all the way down to number 1. And 1, whatever is selected when we hit the plus sign here, it's going to automatically group it to the original, the one above it. So if I just keep hitting those 3, those first 3 are now grouped into one design. And then I have my design and my final tack down. So some things can be regrouped, some things you can leave ungrouped and out of the design. Okay? Am I over your head yet? Now, for those that do not have, I'm going to go pick out a mother mug rug here. Let's say you don't have the editing capabilities to break designs apart on your machines. But I do know you have the ability to fast forward and back up, correct? So I'm going to take my mug rug. I'm going to add the design to it. Okay. I'm going to do all that same editing to make the design fit. Put it where I want it. And then we're going to go embroider. Where's my large oval? There it is. I'm going to do color number stop 1. That's my batting placement. Batting tack down is color stop 2. 3 and 4 is where we would do the 2-piece. We'd be piecing the front of the mug rug. You can do those if you want. If you don't, you just skip them. Then we would do our full background fabric would go down and we'd tack it in place. And then we would quilt. We would then work through skipping all of the color stops associated with the embroidery design we don't want. We're going to skip the final placement line and start embroidering, oops, am I working backwards? Start embroidering the mug. What's going to happen is your design is going to tell you that you're finished, but you're not going to be finished, right? Because we haven't put the backing onto our mug rug. So you'll hit the check mark or the checkered flag, and then you'll just fast forward again until the machine gets to the color stop that is associated with your final tack down. You'd run your final tack down and you would have your completed mug rug. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Just a little bit, just a little touch of the things that you can do for right on your machine. Okay? Very, very easy to do. We have those features, they're built in, we might as well use them. For those of you that may own embroidery software, okay, Bernina embroidery software 8, we're currently at version 9. Version 9, you can be creator or you can do this in the designer version. Excuse me. You cannot do this type of editing inside of ArtLink. Okay, ArtLink is the free embroidery software that you can download from Bernina that would allow you to open designs, print templates, look at color changes, color stops, things like that. Makes things bigger and smaller, but you can't combine designs or do any editing. Editing becomes part of version 9 embroidery software. You can do some of this editing inside of Toolbox, as well under the editing portion of Toolbox. If you wanted to add more lettering, you would need the lettering portion of Toolbox as well, lettering module of Toolbox. Oh, it's not hard, Miss Karen. You could absolutely, Jackie, center this design, especially if you weren't going to, you could put that in the center and leave it there as well. Okay. Okay. So, it doesn't have to be on the one side. I typically on a mug rug, put it to one side. That way when you set your mug on it or your cup on it, it will not sit on your embroidery or be uneven. Okay. But if you remember, we always had that blank one we've now saved to the machine. And you have a nice template that you can use to alter. If you are inside of our private Facebook group on Facebook, the MGQB Society, you've probably seen Miss Dawn. She is our resident mug rug aficionado. She creates custom mug rugs all the time for events at her job and things along that lines. These are just some examples. Again, the base mug rug of Kimberbell, okay, that she added in some information for. Just a plain mug rug, no piecing to it, simple plain front with added words as well. Still fold over, envelope backed for flipping right side out. So it's very, very, very easy to do. Okay. I will be happy to answer any questions as you come up or as you do it. If you comment on the video later when you're watching this at your machine, or send me an email, I'll be happy to help or send you, answer you back. Now, for you guys, for my Demo December, each Demo December will have a little special for you. And so this special is mug rugs. In case you're missing a collection or a volume, all the Kimberbell mug rugs are 10% off through Saturday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. That also includes the 2 digital dealer exclusive mug rugs. These 2 mug rugs are the Happy Easter mug rug, the bunny silhouette mug rug that you see there on the bottom left. And then we have This Is How We Roll mug rug on the bottom right. Both of those lower mug rugs come in the 2 sizes. So you have the standard 5x7 and then the 8x12. Just so you can see here. Here is the giant mug rug compared to the little mug rug. Again, 8x12. So those 2 designs are what we call digital downloads, digital exclusives. They're only available at digital dealers that have access to them with Kimberbell. They are single designs. There's not a volume or a collection of them. They're just the 2 designs. Those are also 10% off. So instead of the $10, they're $9. They will get added to your Kimberbell.com download account. So if you have an account over at Kimberbell.com, that you will locate it in the download section. Usually I do it pretty quickly once you place the order, but I ask that you give me at least 12 to 24 hours to get it into your account. Once it's been licensed to you, you will get an email from Kimberbell telling you that it is ready for you to download. Okay. I will tell you that early mug rugs 1 and 2 are not going to work as well with this technique of deleting designs. Those early collections, the quilting does not go behind the appliques. Okay. They will work just fine with leaving the appliques there, but the moment you delete the appliques, the quilting is missing. Okay, so I would not do this technique with the first 2 volumes, but it definitely works in the last 3. Danette asked how much do you shrink the big one to fit the maxi hoop? I believe the big one, I don't think I had to shrink. 1 second, let me pull that up. 1 second, let me see if, let me find it. 1 second, let's pull up the 8x12 and see. What it does. All right, so there it is in the maxi hoop. So the corners are just a little bit out. Let's see. So 2% is all it has to be shrunk in order to be able to get it into the maxi hoop. Yeah, it barely makes a difference in sizing. If you want to know inches, 7.7 by 10.8 is where we start out at. And then when we shrink it 2%, we are 7.6 by 10.6. So 0.2 of an inch. Almost impossible to know the difference, to notice the difference. Okay. Now, a couple of things that are new that have arrived, like Wednesday. Mini quilts. The mini quilts design collection is now available, as well as the embellishment kit. So the design collection has January through June. These designs are, let's get that out of the way. These designs are small, so they are ultimately, one second, I think they're 12-inch squares. Yep, 12-inch squares, one for each season. Can be done in 5x7 hoops. There is a design collection, and then there is an embellishment kit available. The embellishment kit covers all of January through June, and it coordinates directly with the design collection. We will have fabric kits that we'll be releasing shortly. The fabric kit will contain all 6 months inside the kit. We're waiting on 2 pieces of fabric. Okay. If you want to purchase it now, somebody asked about the Deck the Palms event. If you'll wait till next week, that will be better. It'll be easier for me to track. If I don't have a download account with Kimberbell, you can buy the design. I'll send it to the email address. I'll apply it to the email address, and when you create a design, an account with Kimberbell, it will show up there. So let me just show you. So if you go to Kimberbell and you can log in and create an account, the email address that you use there will be the one you want to also tell me that is your Kimberbell account. So if you have 2 different emails that you use when you order versus that, please make sure in the notes section that you tell me what your Kimberbell login account is, because otherwise it won't be there for you when you log in, because I've assigned the license to a different email address. Okay. Now, you can at any time, let's see here, go to Material Girls Quilt and you can click on Kimberbell Digital Download. The dealer exclusive downloads are actually in our shop online website. I'm actually going to put a link here for you that takes you directly to all the mug rugs. One second. But you would just go, if you go to our website, click in the search box. If you just type in mug rug, all the mug rugs they're the first things that will populate. Oh, I'll change volume 1 to be a pre-order as well for you. Now, the other thing that is new is registration is now open for the Kimberbell, Material Girls Kimberbell Embroidery Membership. This is the 2024 collection. We did this in 2023, and we're doing it again in 2024. There's 12 exclusive designs that you can't buy directly from Kimberbell. The only place to get them is through a dealer. Okay, I'm gonna put a couple of things in the comments here. 1 second, I can't do 2 things at once and talk. They're 12 designs each month. It releases on the first of the month directly into your Kimberbell account for download. Most of them come in multiple sizes. It includes all of the techniques and everything that we've come. There are some unique blanks that will become available, and you will have access to them as well throughout the year. So this just kind of gives you, there'll be more information coming up about in detail on all of those. I'm going to try really hard to get them all stitched. We do kits for each month as well. If there is a kit or anything like that to be done for it, we will create a kit that you guys have first access to as part of that membership. What's great about it is that, one, it is automatically in your account. You don't have to remember to do it. And by registering as part of that membership, you receive a 13th design for free. This 13th design is the What's the Buzz keychain. It comes in 2 sizes, and you have the 2 little designs that are there. You'll learn fill stitching, quilting, in the hoop construction, and a double-sided project. And I have a free embellishment kit while supplies last for those that register for this membership. We'll be there for you as well. It concludes everything that you see here in the lower right-hand corner to make the project that you see in the left-hand side of the screen. And so that registration has opened today as well. And then finally, what you're all waiting here for is your secret word for this week is reindeer. Okay, so make a note, jot it down, jot down reindeer, and then we will have a new secret word that will happen on next Wednesday. All right, so I want to thank everybody so much for joining us today. I hope that you may have learned a little something and that you will come back and join us again on Wednesday, November 29th, right here on YouTube at noon. I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. I'm hoping that inspiration strikes me here soon, but I will be posting about it and all sorts of things as I come up with it. If you have ideas for demonstrations for Kimberbell items, if you're wondering how something works in the world of Kimberbell, please let me know, and maybe I'll work that into one of my demos for us next week. Thank you, everybody. Have a great rest of your Black Friday. And remember, we are currently celebrating Pink Friday over online, and we will be open back to our physical location. Will be reopening tomorrow morning at 9:30 for Pink Saturday. Right now, holiday fall fabrics are 30% off, and fall and holiday panels, pre-cuts, and kits are 20% off. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.